guys, my name is Myeisha. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about my birthing experience. So without further ado, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. And please don't forget to turn your post notifications on, so every time I post, you guys are notified. And also, I want to thank all my returning subscribers. I want to thank all my new subscribers. I want to thank everybody for watching my channel. We reached 600 subscribers. And I'm really appreciative that you guys are holding me down while I've been taking a little hiatus. So thank you for that. Basically, my third trimester was really good until I hit my final weeks. I was due on March 11th and then I ended up giving birth on March 19th. So she was overdue, which is normal in a first time pregnancy. I lost my mucus plug at 38 weeks. What a mucus plug is, it protects the baby from getting bacteria entering the body. It basically is a protective covering for the baby. And it usually ruptures around 38 to 40 weeks. That's a sign that, you know, your baby is going to come soon. So I had yellow discharge. It could be from like yellow to brown to like reddish. Some people get their mucus plugs early into the first trimester, and it could be weeks until they go into labor, or some people get it right before they go into labor. So everybody's different. Everybody's body is different. So when I'm talking about my experience, I don't want people to be like, oh, I didn't go through that or this and that, because we're all different. You know, we all have different types of bodies, etc. So my last week of pregnancy, I had to be induced. I was low on amniotic fluid. So basically, amniotic fluid is the fluid that the baby can move around in, and you know, move around and have space in, and the baby also absorbs the nutrients from that fluid. And I was very low on it, and basically they gave me 1 day to increase my amniotic fluid. So I originally was supposed to have the baby at the birthing center, but then they said, oh, we're gonna have to induce you tonight. Like, you're gonna have to go to the hospital, like basically right now. Go home, get your bags, and then go straight to the hospital because your fluid is low and there's a chance that you could lose the baby. And if we don't deliver her like right now, then you might lose the baby. And this is my first pregnancy, so I'm like, oh my gosh, please, please. So I tried to be like, I had to breathe and do my breathing techniques and just be like, you know what, you got this, you got this, you got this. Don't stress yourself out, because then if I stress myself out, then I stress the baby out. And if I stress the baby out, that causes too many problems. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I was just like freaking out. But I'm like, breathe, calm down, calm down. So I basically, you know, I had to call my partner from work and like was texting everybody, oh, I'm going into labor right now. And it was just very stressful. And honestly, it was a very traumatic experience. The process of being induced, and the fact that there was a huge chance I could have lost her because I didn't have enough fluid. You know, it made me so nervous as like a first time mom. I'm just like, oh my gosh, please, not on my first kid. I was just like, oh, I just can't do it. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I can't have her. But I prayed, and you know, I just kept the faith that it was gonna get better, and eventually it did. The process of being induced hurt so badly. It was excruciating, the pain, around like 7 to 8 centimeters. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't take it. I can't do a natural birth anymore. I'm sorry. Like, I tried my best. I really tried my best. But towards 7 to 8, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It just was, I was shaking, and you know, that's normal. You know, when you're in labor, that's a normal side effect. But I was just like shaking uncontrollably. I couldn't lay down still. They had this monitor on my stomach to monitor the baby, and it kept falling off because I kept shaking that bad. It was just too much pain. So I'm calling the nurse. I'm like, I need it. I need the epidural. I need some medicine. I need something because I can't take it no more. Like, it was so bad. Like, I don't know how people do natural birth with nothing, because I almost made it, but it was just like, it was too much because I'm starting to shake. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I think I'm gonna die. Like, I kept saying stuff like that. I'm like, I feel like I was gonna die. It was just so hard. I never knew that shaking was normal until, you know, I Googled it while I was in labor. I'm like, oh my gosh, nobody ever talks about this stuff. They never talk about like how you go through all these things during labor. They always say it's hard, but they never go into detail. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? How do I stop the shaking? And they're like, that's normal to shake. And then I also threw up Like I kept throwing up over and over and over again, to the point where they're like, you need to slow down on the food, because I wasn't really eating food. I had like peanuts or like plain crackers, and I was still throwing it up. And then after that, I just was drinking water, and I still throw up the water. So I had to stop eating and drinking things, because it was just every time I eat or drink anything, it just like all over the floor over and over again. I feel so bad for them. They had to keep cleaning up my mess, but it was just like, fuck. I think the IV was one of the worst parts. I've never been to the hospital before. So I had the IV in my, right here, my veins. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I literally peed on myself as soon as she put the IV in. It hurt that damn bad. And I was crying. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, people go through this every time they go to the hospital? I was on penicillin because I had group B strep. And also when I was being induced, they put a pill in my vagina. And basically the pill opened up my cervix more and more and more. And like every hour they like re-administer the pill again. So each hour it was opening up more and more. And so like when they would first put it in, I couldn't go to the bathroom for like the first hour, because, you know, it will fall. They said that it could fall out and then it'd take longer to do the process. So I would like literally, you know, when you're pregnant and the baby pushing down and you have to pee so much. So like I had to hold my peeing for 1 good hour, which is really hard, because the pill, like, you know, it needed to stay in so it can open up my cervix more and more. Okay, so basically if you're O negative, the baby's blood type can react to it if your baby has a different type of blood type. I didn't know that at first, because they don't really talk about that either. Oh, that's actually a thing. So when you have O negative, you're supposed to take 2 injections of Rogam. So basically I didn't take the Rogam, the first dosage of it. I only took 1 towards the end of my pregnancy. And that's because my OBGYN, he was trash pretty much, and he didn't tell me that if I'm O negative, I had to take an injection. Like he wasn't doing certain things that he was supposed to do. So I had to change my doctor. That's a whole nother story time. Don't have really much time to talk about it, you know. But basically, pick somebody you feel comfortable with that's doing what they're supposed to do. So when I got to the birthing center, that's when they told me like, oh, you needed to do this in the beginning, and they found on my charts that I didn't do the first one. So then I just did the 1 dosage, and good thing, everything turned out good. She's O positive, I'm O negative. So the reaction was good. There was no problems with my blood or her blood. We didn't know what would happen at the hospital, because, you know, they said, oh, you might have a reaction because you only did 1 of the dosage. You didn't do 2, like 1 at the beginning and 1 at the end of your trimester. So they were monitoring my blood closely, and after I gave birth, they did take some of my blood, and they tested the baby's blood to make sure that it was a good response. Okay, let's skip the childbirth. The epidural worked way too well. I couldn't feel my legs. They were just flopping. Literally, like the nurse had to come in and help and hold my leg up, and my partner had to hold the other leg up. And it was just, I couldn't feel anything at all. Like, it was starting to get real scary. They kept telling me to push every time I felt a contraction, and I couldn't feel any contractions at all. And I was more than likely due to the epidural. I couldn't feel anything at all beyond that point. And then so literally she was looking at the monitor, and the monitor told her every time I had a contraction, she would say, okay, push, now push, now push. So that actually did help me. But it was really scary, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't feel anything. Is something wrong? And I was starting to freak out, like, badly. My partner counted about like 4 to 5 pushes, and she was out. By the time I was like 10 centimeters, her head was already out. So that was already a big step. I was asleep, and literally they came in and was like, it's time to push. And literally her head was already out. When they said it's time to push, her head was already out when I woke up from my nap. But honestly, after the first 2 pushes, they expected her to come out, which was ridiculous. So they were like, we should get it. They were talking in Spanish. They were like, oh, we should do a C-section. And I'm just like, no. My partner's like, he's like, no C-section. No. We're gonna let her keep pushing. Like, she got this. Let her keep pushing. And, you know, it's really important to have somebody who can, like, advocate for you. And it was just like, Because honestly, there's nothing wrong with having a C-section, but personally, from my birthing experience, I wanted to push her out. A C-section is like last resort, like, oh my gosh, we're gonna die type of thing. Like C-section, I don't see the point of having a C-section because she was almost already out anyways. They were just not being patient with me. So I didn't like that part of having her in the hospital, which is why probably next time I have a kid, I would do a home birth or something on the lines of that. I don't know, something in another facility. I don't know. I'll figure it out next time because I just didn't like the hospital experience that much. I mean, it was turned out good overall because they had a good staff, but it's just I didn't like how they kept trying to force me to get a C-section. It was like, oh, C-section, C-section, C-section. Like, who gonna push out a baby in 2 pushes? Like, I need a second. Like, let me do it when she ready. Like, oh, I'm pushing when I'm ready. Like, don't, force it. So it is important to have somebody there with you that can speak up for you because you're really tired when you're having a baby and stuff. Like, when you're pushing and giving birth and after birth, you need somebody there that can speak up for you. I couldn't imagine doing this alone by myself with nobody to advocate for me. I actually caught her in my hand and I brought her up. They was like, catch her. So I grabbed her and I brought her up. It was so cool. I don't know if I have that on camera or if I don't know if I'm going to show the whole video because it is graphic and I don't want nobody seeing my area. Like, I'm really private about stuff like that. So I might show a clip. I might not. Who knows? You'll see it in a second. Hi. Such a cutie pie. I forgot to mention because COVID, I had to do a COVID-19 test prior to giving birth. And I had to labor with my mask on and give birth with my mask on, which made it harder for me to breathe. So it was a difficult experience. I forgot to mention how COVID affected my birthing journey as well. I didn't like how in the hospital you can't walk around how you want to walk around. Like in the birthing center, you could labor walking around, standing up, birth the ball, on the toilet, whatever you want to do. But in the hospital, they have so many cords tied to you. And even if I did do a natural birth, I would have still had cords tied to me because I needed antibiotics and all this other stuff. So it's just like, I didn't really like that experience. My birth experience is the opposite of what I expected it to be. But you know, what can I do? Overall, I had a healthy, happy baby, and I'm grateful every day for that. Common question that I get is, did I poop during labor? Okay, no, I did not. I'm surprised I didn't because actually I did eat like right before everything, but they ended up putting the tube in my asshole. Yes, my asshole, and it flushed everything out, drained everything from my body. And then like they had me sitting on a toilet for a good hour to pee and poop. It was just like everything from the whole day, everything just came out because whatever they put in my ass, it just drained me so good. So no, I didn't poop during labor, and the whole night I basically barely got to eat anything because I kept throwing up. So another common question I've been getting is, did I tear? No, I did not tear, which is a surprise. I thought I was gonna tear because it's my first kid. I thought I was gonna tear. So excited that I didn't. Postpartum journey was amazing. I think it's because I didn't tear. The main thing that was a problem is that I was extremely exhausted. I was tired every day, all day long. I just wanted to sleep. but that's not really a deal breaker or anything like that. Okay, so some tips that did help me prevent myself from tearing is the birthing ball. I was on the birthing ball every single day, hours and hours, just hopping and doing some exercises on the birthing ball. Also, if you're having like sex regularly when you are pregnant and stuff, that helps open up your cervix. So close to, actually the whole pregnancy I did, even the last trimester I did, and that probably helped a lot as well. They say whatever, you know, to get the way you get the baby in is the way to get the baby to come out. My midwife, she always would say that to me. The way you get the baby in is how you get the baby out. So yeah, that's, you get a lot of sex. That's what you're gonna have to do to help you get the baby out. I also did a technique on the toilet, which probably really helped me a lot. I did this every single day in the 3rd trimester. I can do a private video on tips I have to help you not tear during labor, if that helps. And I also did use like some oil, like coconut oil. I will rub it in my vagina, and that also probably helped as well. And I would massage myself. So I can do a full video on that and go like really into detail with that. And I can do birthing ball exercises that I did. Like there's so many things I can show you that I did that probably contributed to me. Said, I want to be looking at the camera, mama. I want to look at the camera. Yeah, you like it. You like making videos with mommy? Okay, let's do this. A note: having sex during pregnancy does not hurt the baby at all. It actually helps the baby come out. It opens up your cervix more. So a lot of people I've seen in my group chat that I'm in had like problems like having sex during pregnancy. They was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hurt the baby, I'm gonna squish the baby. And I just want to put this PSA out: it does not in fact touch the baby, it does not in fact hurt the baby anyway. So don't feel bad like, oh my gosh, the baby, because honestly, it's, I don't know, for me it's better to just rip that band-aid and just do it. The question that I get often is like having sex after the baby. It's pretty much the same. It did feel a little bit, you know, more tighter than before, even though it was tighter already. Like, so I would say just to use lube. That's literally the only thing, you know, because it's really it hurts the first couple times, but you use that and the first couple times and boom, you're back to normal. Like literally after the 6 weeks, it back to normal. So yeah. Does the epidural affect you after you give birth? Yes. Typically people get back pain or shoulder pain or leg pain, which is also common after you get an epidural. Some people it lasts years, some people it lasts just months. So it all depends on you and how well your body takes it. The question I get all the time is, when are you having another baby? Literally not even a month after I had Melanie, that they would be like, when are you having another baby? And my answer to this question is, mind your own uterus. You don't know what we go through as women. And some people can't have children, or they have trouble having children. So it's very insensitive to ask a woman, when are you having children? Or when are you going to have more children, etc. You don't know our situation. You don't know our story. And honestly, it's quite annoying to hear that, because what if I don't want anymore? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or what if I have problems to where I want more but I can't? So you don't understand. Like, it's very insensitive to ask that, especially after I just gave birth. It kind of irks me and it kind of grinds my gears when people do that. It's not your body. It's not your life. And honestly, some women don't want children, and that is okay. That is okay. We need to all mind our own uteruses and just shut up. Like, that's what I've been wanting to say for months now. Like, just mind your own uterus. Don't ask me when I'm having the next one. Don't ask me if I want another one, because maybe I do, maybe I don't. Right now, my mental, I'm not ready to even open up the conversation of having another kid. I love being just her mommy. And right now, that's all I want to be right now. If you guys like videos like this, I do have a playlist on my channel. It's for new moms or first-time moms, or if you're not even a first-time mom, it's just for moms in general. And it's just like a catalog where I just talk about momming things. And I do have a video, what they don't tell you about breastfeeding. It does have 90K 90,000 viewers. So if you guys are interested in that, I will put the link right here, and then also it'll be in the description box if anybody else is interested. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and please don't forget to turn your post notifications on so every time I post, you guys are notified. Say bye, Melanie. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Oh, dad. No, say bye-bye. No, you don't want to talk?